So, and departments are ranked based on this feedback. My Honorable Chief Minister actually reviews this on a weekly basis. So there's an RTG meeting where he actually reviews this and he gives this feedback to the ministers and the secretary saying, okay, you've dipped or you've improved, this is how we can do better. And that has sort of enabled us to refine, fine-tune our services. That's why I was sharing, when we met, I was sharing that on a scale 1 to 10, where am I? I'm at 3. I need to now, really improve to the next level. Though my citizens have rated us at 8.5, 9, but as a minister, I believe that we can do better. We can really, unlock the potential of AI in that sense.
In fact, you're absolutely right in terms of just the vision and the ambition that you can have. I think AI enables a lot more of what you have planned in terms of citizen services at citizens' fingertips. And that's actually my next question, right? I think, one, you've become recently the first state government that formally incorporated WhatsApp governance in a state budget. And we saw that, come through this year. We already have conversations with your team. We're also in conversations with your team on how we can leverage AI for better experience for the citizens, and you just talked about that. So what new features or integration do you think, and you touched a little bit, maybe if you can elaborate, that can make Manumitra even more impactful for citizens? What's your vision there? And can you share with us how the state plans to integrate more advanced features, such as AI-powered personal assistant, predictive alerts, secure digital certificates on QR codes? There's a whole bunch of things technology now makes possible. So, and I know you're a technologist, so how do you think about that?
And as a sharing, every industrial revolution has created more jobs than it has replaced. But it has created these jobs in geographies where they were ready for that industrial revolution. So it's imperative that India embraces AI and we actually lead the conversation. And that's where Andhra Pradesh is playing a significant role, starting from data centers to all the way to actually empowering citizens. Saying that, I believe that AI is here, and the entire data lake project is that where we are ensuring that the data gets tightly integrated and keeping, again, a citizen as center of our universe in terms of delivering services. That's where now AI is playing a much larger role. So once we issue a birth certificate, automatically a lot of things can sort of get integrated. That tracking, that ability to use the basic rule engine and actually deliver it and have the documents ready, though the citizen might ask for it or might not ask for it. But when they want it, it's there. And that's where I believe that AI is going to play a very, very powerful role. And that's what I believe is the next wave in terms of what we're going to do in Andhra Pradesh. Saying that, what excites me is the conversational AI bit. Our ability to empower citizens and not go through, we've done the menu bit, so which I call version 1.0. And now we need to do the 2.0 in the next 90 days. And, using AI just to
target.
I think my team is here already, so they're writing the minutes down. But 90 days, I think we can do the AI bit where it becomes a lot more easy. The experience can become a lot more easy. The third part and the most important part is when there's a financial transaction. How do you give that sense of confidence and trust to the citizen? That yes, you're paying to the government, it is secured, and that is going to require a lot more sort of collaborative workshops, engaging citizens, giving them that comfort. So people are going to know how much they're due in terms of power bill or property taxes, but then some of them still are like, okay, I rather pay manually because we have to build a trust factor as we go. So I think that's the next focus area for us in terms of taking Manumitra 2.0.
2.0.
So we are at about 30% of us households using Manumitra, and we want to take this to now 100%. So that's why we're going to back it with a sort of a door-to-door campaign to explain this to our citizens, and anyone who has a doubt, we can actually sort of give them an idea of how to use it, if required, do some use cases then and there.
That's awesome. But I want to go back to what you've said across multiple questions now, which is you keep the citizen at the center of it and then build for the, based on what the citizen wants. So AI, the same way, is an enabler for what the citizen, how easily the citizen could access services or, go about his day-to-day life, his or her day-to-day life. And I think that's also something that we think about a lot, which is how can we make WhatsApp more powerful for users and how can we make it simpler to use as well. And that's why AI voice, conversational, conversations on WhatsApp, make it very easy versus, like you said, menu-based. So we love the idea as well of taking this to WhatsApp 2.0. I want to go to my next question, and you sort of alluded to it, which is 30% of households are already using Manumitra today. I think since the bot launched, more than 50 lakh people have used it in Andhra. I think as you think about Manumitra in terms of simplifying citizen services to government services, how do you, citizen access to government services, how do you think this has worked particularly for rural households, for women, and for low literacy populations? Do you see a difference there?
No, definitely. I think, their willingness to sort of adapt to technology is always going to be at a different level. Urban will be ahead of the curve, rural will be the next one. But then sort of educating and giving this idea that, yes, government services are available on the phone. So power of using Manumitra for farmers to understand, what are the government services that they're eligible. Or the second is when we actually do a scheme disbursement, sort of proactively reaching out to saying, this is what has happened, this is the money we've deposited, are you satisfied? Is there anything else that we can do? Or someone who didn't get benefit from that scheme can sort of raise a workflow and say that, I believe that I am eligible and I didn't get it. And all through their mobile device. So they don't need to go to an office or go to the local government center or the Mi-Seva center in that sense. So they can do it from their phone.
Yeah.
And that has really transformed, the entire workflow. And it has enabled us to look at, okay, this is the grievance that's raised, and then how many of them got solved, at what point did they get solved? Because earlier they would still say, I want to verify you, so you come to my office. So we said, no, you can't do that. It has to be all online, because it's all done through Aadhaar. There's a certain amount of safety, security that's actually in place, and that's what we have built out.
And I think the bit that you talked about, which is also the trust factor and the awareness, I think as time goes by, people will get a lot more comfortable as well. And with voice integrated, I think it also makes it a lot easier for people to access. But that's, it's pretty awesome. Sticking to the theme of services, what services have you seen have the highest uptake on Manumitra? We saw the video. There's everything from temple booking to getting certificates to getting hall tickets. And what measurable improvements have you actually seen? So in terms of either fewer office visits, faster turnaround time, something took 5 months, now you get it instantly, citizen satisfaction, you measure that with feedback. What are some hard metrics that you've actually seen move, and what do people use the most?
Utility payments is one service that is used widely. Second is the service around hall